Joining us now, Jammin with Juddy, as he does every Tuesday. Coach, making the turn. Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation before you begin the back half of conference play.
Yeah, I can't believe it's gone that fast. You know, you feel like the season's long, but then you start looking at it and say, hey, we're half over. And, we would have liked to have been 9-0, but 7-2 is not bad. And we shouldn't have lost the game to St. Mary's, so we probably should have been 8-1, I think, is something that we thought we could have achieved. And then, of course, have our chance with Gonzaga at home. But we're happy. You know, we got a good start, and hopefully we can do better the second half.
Okay, so gathering from what you just said, in terms of midway expectations for the West Coast Conference season, were you kind of thinking 8-1 is where you thought you might be, where you want? Of course, you want to win all 9, but what were your expectations for?
Well, we thought we should be, no question, 9-0. But
That's right.
we knew that Gonzaga would be tough there, and we had a couple tough games that we struggled with in the past with Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine on the road for us. They were tough games. Portland's always been a tough game, so we thought 7-2 would probably be would be the worst that we thought we could be if we wanted to have a chance to win the championship.
Okay.
And I think what hurt us was losing the game at home with St. Mary's. I mean, Pacific and St. Mary's are very good, and playing them back-to-back was hard, but now we got to go there. But the advantage with women, where it's a little different than men, is the home court advantage is not as big.
Certainly.
But on the road, it's easier to win. So I think the boys, it's a lot different, the men's situation for us. But we're going to have some tough games. We got to play St. Mary's and Pacific, and we got to play this weekend. San Francisco is the 5th team in our league, really, that's pushing. They're very good, and so it's going to be a battle for us.
Yeah.
So, Coach, you guys are tied second right now with St. Mary's. And like you said, you've had some losses that you guys wish you could take back, but you also had some good wins. Where's your team's confidence approaching the second half?
Well, I think we feel like we've always in the past have done better the second half. I think once we play somebody, I have a great staff that really works hard of breaking things down and taking advantage of what we can do. Now we're going to see what everybody did against our offense, how they doubled Morgan, who they came with, and so forth, and what they did with Lexi. And I think we'll have a better understanding of what we need to do with our plays. The negative part of it is they know what we do. They know what we did defensively and what we try to do with players. But this team, I think we always seem to play better at the end. I think part of it is they understand it, and we prepare and we try to give them time off during the first of the season. So hopefully we'll be able to do what we did last year, and that was, I think last year we went 8-1, and that gave us a good chance to really have a chance for the title. The problem is we're 2 games behind Gonzaga, and they really only have one tough road game. That's us in San Diego. So that's going to be tough. It'll be, hopefully somebody can beat them.
Okay, let's say, for whatever reason, you're coaching a team that doesn't live up to first half expectations, but now with the second half of conference play approaching, what do you do as a coach and a staff to reset and kind of help your players refresh in their minds to be like, hey, this is a new season?
I think what you do is you do what you said. You go to your team and say, this is the first half of the season. Now we're starting the second half of conference. And for us to have a chance of winning the conference or going to postseason is really the most important part of the season is right now, the last 9 games of conference. And you have to take one game at a time, but you have to kind of have to start over and say, now we're going to see what we can do the second half. And I know that both of us, both Dave's and my team, have always done better the second half. We've done a good job with that, and I think part of it, we have great players that focus that way and really realize it. I think Dave's going to have an easier time the second half. He has more home games, 5 home games instead of 5 on the road. He will play St. Mary's at home. He will play some other teams that I think San Francisco, who's been playing really well right now. But he also has Gonzaga, which is a tough game.
Yeah.
To really, but sometimes you can, if that's the last game of the season, sometimes you can get in there and catch a team that's, maybe they've already won it.
They've already clinched the title. They're the 1 seed.
Yeah, they're kind of looking at it, and you get in there and really do it. So, it's hard. 2 baskets here and there, and Dave Rose's team is 8-1. Okay,
Isn't that unbelievable?
I mean, it's crazy how this game is, but it's really true. I mean, San Diego, he loses last second. St. Mary's comes down the wire. Pepperdine, it's right down the. I mean, he wins those games. Ball bounces his way, and next thing you know, they're 8-1. So
how, as a coach, how do you get your players to erase that in those bad losses and move forward? Because as a player, I put myself in their shoes, and it's like, man, it's hard not to dwell on those games.
It's really hard. It's one of the hardest things as a coach, how you get your team to forget it. The one thing he has, and you heard the comment, Tyler Haas said it. He said, we're going to play better.
Yeah, we're turning it around.
So you got your best player who believes that their team can play better than what they're doing. And then all of a sudden, everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and next thing Kyle believes it, and next thing. But kind of what you mentioned, hopefully, I don't know if Nate's coming back. I don't know what the situation is. But that's a big piece of the puzzle they've missed.
Cow.
People don't realize he doesn't get all the points, and he doesn't do all those things, but Nate was a good defender, a great rebounder, a good passer, experienced player, and he lost that. And hopefully he gets him back to second half, and that'll make a big difference.
Yeah, very much up in the air whether or not Nate Austin will come back to play with BYU men's basketball. It's just kind of a wait-and-see approach right now with that torn right hamstring. But, Coach, you lost Ashley Garfield, who I feel like is the Nate Austin of BYU women's basketball, the intangibles, takes charges, plays bigger than she really is. She'll get down on the floor and get in some scrums and stuff like that, and just really lifts her team with plays that don't show up in the stat sheet. How do you overcome losing a player like that?
You really never overcome that. It's your team's used to what she does. Every player has a role, and one of her roles is one of the hardest roles to fulfill. I thought Orton came in there tonight and kind of gave us a little bit of Ashley Garfield. She came in and got some really nice rebounds and made a nice block shot and was aggressive. And I'm sure Dave's had some players do the same thing, but being consistently, it's hard. And you count on it and you prepare for it. So the only thing we can do is hope that other players step it up. Jojan has played really well for us. The thing that people don't realize is now Jojan's starting. Now that hurts my bench a little bit because Jojan was a good bench, came off the bench for us.
Yeah, she was your spark.
Yeah, she was too. So now you lose that. And so it's kind of it's a lot of little things, but you have to deal with it. Every team goes through these injuries, and you have to deal with it. And hopefully somebody on my team will step it up, either Fuller or Cassie or Orton or Lohi. Somebody will step it up for us to be able to make up that miss.
Coach, how long do you wait for somebody to step up? I mean, before you say, okay, I have to go to a whole different game plan and maybe run a different style of offense or a different style of defense.
It's happened to the football team. You lose a key part of the offense, and how do you change that? What I've tried to do is I try to make the players that I've mentioned, I've tried to give them confidence and try to say, hey, some of your abilities is different than Ashley's. Come in and do your thing, but be solid. Come in and play solid like she did for us defensively and taking care of the ball and doing those things. And it's hard. Cassie has struggled a little bit because point guard's tough. You got to come in and run your team, and that's a little bit harder than really what a Lowy or Orton's trying to do for our team. So I guess that's what we get paid for, is to try to try to do a good job with that. But it's hard. But it's tough.
Coach Jeff Judkins with us on BYU Sports Nation. It is Jammin with Juddy. We should not overlook the fact that your assistant coach, Dan Nielsen, came in here last week seeking some BYU Sports Nation karma, and he credited us after the win against San Diego with BYU Sports Nation being the added bonus or the element that you guys needed to finish off the Toreros. How do you feel about that?
I think, Dan does a great job for me, and I forgot the little thing he wanted to give you. I'll bring it tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, I left it in my truck. He gave it to me and said, "How will you take it?" And I forgot it.
It's okay. It's all right. You're going to come back.
But I'll make sure I get it to you. But, yeah, I think, we love, in the women's side of it, we love every bit of press and what we can get, because we feel like we work hard and we deserve some of this stuff. We don't get as much as we'd like. So to be on this Sports Nation every week's been a lot of fun for me, and hopefully a lot of our fans have been able to get a little better insight of what we're trying to do at BYU with with the women's basketball.
You will hold that position until there is a better shooter on campus at BYU.
Yeah, somebody will come catch me, that's for sure.
Jeff Judkins with us on BYU Sports Nation. Coach, we wish you the best of luck in the back half, and specifically at San Francisco and Santa Clara this week.
Well, thanks a lot, Spencer, and we wish we could get some of our games televised, but I think you can watch us online at BYU, and I think also West Coast Conference.
Yeah, the BYUtv.
So I know a lot of people have asked me that question, so follow us. We hope we can have a great weekend.